In this video, we discuss the medical device known as the Rife machine and its effects on cancer outcomes. As always, these ideas are discussed in more depth in the book Cancer Self-Defense 101 – Quick Tips to Help You Survive. All citations for studies quoted in this video can be found in the book's bibliography at cancerselfdefense101.com. This video is intended as information, not medical advice. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. Any medical advice should come from an appropriately credentialed medical professional familiar with your unique circumstances. Probably the most controversial cancer treatment of the last century is the Rife machine. A decade ago or so, the Rife machine was described by the conventional oncology establishment as quackery. Yet even the most mainstream traditionalist websites, such as Cancer Research UK, do not describe it as quackery now. There has been too much success regarding the use of electromagnetic waves against cancer to simply dismiss the Rife machine. Raymond Rife was one of the 20th century's most brilliant scientists. In 1929, he developed a light microscope able to observe living organisms at 60,000 magnification. Similar levels of magnification were not achieved elsewhere until the electron microscope decades later, but the electron microscope killed the organism being studied. Rife's did not. Positive appraisals of Rife's microscope were featured in Science, Popular Mechanics, the Smithsonian Report, newspapers, and elsewhere. Rife and his 6,000-piece microscope featured in Popular Science, February 1932. Rife used his microscope to study the effects of different frequencies on cancer cells. He began to find certain frequencies that would obliterate different types of cancer, a finding confirmed by the Therabionic team and others decades later. See our Therabionic video for an FDA-approved device that works on a similar principle to the Rife machine. Rife's technique and his machine were tested in a clinical trial. 16 terminally ill cancer patients with no other treatment options volunteered for treatment. Rife treated them for 3 minutes a day, 5 days a week. An original Rife machine. The frequencies were emitted through a no-contact plasma ball. To the amazement of the physicians overseeing the studies, 14 out of the 16 patients were cured of cancer within a month. The other 2 took another month to be completely resolved of cancer. The committee overseeing the trial refused to publish the results. Some members objected, saying the results were so extraordinary they needed a control group, even though single-arm studies were quite common at the time. By this time, other clinics near Rife, who was living in San Diego, California, had started treating cancer patients using his equipment and had impressive success. These results were overseen and verified by a special research committee out of the University of Southern California. Some of these clinics were treating up to 40 patients a day. One of these patients made his way back to Chicago from San Diego, where he was invited to dinner with someone who would have a dramatic impact on Rife's life, Dr. Morris Fishbein, who at that time was the editor of the Journal of the American Medical Association. Upon hearing of Rife's successes, the powerful and wealthy Fishbein made an offer to buy Rife's intellectual property, which Rife refused. Thereafter, a series of alleged events unfolded that would be fit for the plot of a movie, a frivolous lawsuit designed to bankrupt and emotionally drain Rife, labs destroyed by arson, some of the most respected professionals forced out of their positions into early retirement, and even attempted murder. The upshot of the story is that Rife's technology was never again tested in a clinical trial, yet Rife's ideas were remembered and reinvigorated by some decades later. Today, devices based on his concepts have thousands of adherents who actively post their experiences on web forums. There is one case report of a Rife machine conferring benefit in pancreatic cancer in the scientific literature, but most evidence remains strictly anecdotal. Some of the designs retain Rife's original no-contact plasma ball design, while most use contact handles or pads to transmit the frequencies. Most devices will come with a community-curated set of frequencies that have been found to be beneficial for a specific malignancy. Two companies selling Rife machines are Spooky 2 and Resonant Light. Despite modest clinical evidence in the scientific literature, we believe the encouraging preclinical evidence and the success of the therabionic merit support for the Rife machine. For more information, see the book Cancer Self-Defense 101, Quick Tips to Help You Survive.